Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has urged the newly appointed service chiefs to work as a team, noting that there was work to be done. The president made the remark on Monday when he met the new National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and the new service chiefs for the first time since their appointment on June 19, 2023. The NSA told State House correspondents afterward that the president assured the service chiefs of his unwavering support during the meeting. Ribadu, who said the service chiefs on their part pledged their loyalty to the president and Nigerians, also underlined their commitment to work tirelessly to secure the country. The NSA, who is a former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, said although the task ahead was a big one, it would be done. Now, the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Taurid Lagbaja, and the Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, and the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Abubakar, were also at the meeting. The Inspector General of Police, Kaide Egbetokun, was also present at the security meeting. But in a related issue, another visitor to the president, former Governor Ahmed Yerima of Zamfara State, wants the federal government to negotiate with bandits. Now, joining us to actually have this conversation is our in-house guest, who of course is Dr. Olawale Olatubi. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
He's actually right here with us in the studio. And of course, joining us virtually is John Akerile, who will be divesting this conversation properly. Thank you, John, for joining us. If you can hear me, please indicate.
Yeah, good morning to you all over the world. Thank you for having me.
Join us. Dr. Lawali, this is the president's first, one-on-one meeting with all the security chiefs. These are top generals in their various parastatals. And one would say that it is indeed needed for him to have this conversation with the security chiefs. Lately, we've had an upsurge again of these, bandits or supposed terrorists pillaging and killing people. Just Plateau State has been one area whereby we've been seeing a lot of consistent, killings in that particular community. Do we think that the president meeting with these service chiefs would actually do something to curtail, the continuous or incessant killings of these terrorists?
Yeah, I think the meeting with the service chiefs yesterday, I think it was just an introductory meeting, just to know ourselves, just to let's introduce ourselves formally, because I think they've been appointed since June 19th. This is actually a formal introduction, and okay, look at that. This is time, let's start work. And the first thing that needs to be done is to make sure that the security of this country is well in place, because that is affecting everything, is affecting the daily, people are actually not even secured again. So I think the major assignment the president should give these service chiefs to go and give me a plan. Within 1 week, I don't want 2 weeks plan or 3 weeks. Within 1 week, give me a plan. What are we doing? What can we do? I'm expecting another meeting in another 1 week with them. I shouldn't be expecting that, okay, after this meeting, everybody should just go back and start relaxing. No. Another meeting, consistent meeting. Let me see what you have. Bring your plan. I know the president has his own plan too. Bring your plan. Let me have my plan. Let's sit down together and let's meet together and see what is going to happen. Because
you see, the acting IGP, when he was appointed, said he feels like a lion ready to devour the criminals, and he feels like an elephant. He gave those analogies. And right now, headlines in the papers after this meeting said crime rate has gone down. Do you believe that?
It has not gone down. That was what the service.
So where are they getting the figures from?
One thing about it is that I told you last time I came here that when the IGP came into office, I think most IGPs have this rehearsed speech when they come into office. Yeah. Yes, I'm ready to bring down criminals. First thing, no siren. All those like rehearsed. Look at things they say. Probably there's a speech for them to say, but we are not saying it. Killings here and here, criminals still doing their things. So I don't see any improvement in security so far, because now if they say there's a drop in it.
Is it too early?
It is too early. If they say there's a drop in criminal, what have you done? Because you've not done anything. You're expecting the rate of criminals to reduce. They've not done anything. So the only thing the IGP had done, whatever we know, was that said is just no more police officers for for VIPs,
yes.
and that is the only thing that I don't know if there's anything the IGP has done since he has been in office again.
The removal of roadblocks and all of that.
Those are the normal things they do every time they come in. The new IGP comes into
and those
office.
things are not enough to bring down crime.
They're not enough. So what have they done? Okay, you're saying this. What have you done to bring down crime? They've not done anything.
All right, we now heard the former governor, Ahmed Yerima of Zamfara State, who wants the federal government to negotiate with bandits. He's actually advising President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to negotiate with bandits. Possibly there is a negotiation in place. We will not see the consistent killings and pillages of a lot of their properties. But the thing is, how do you negotiate with these terrorists? I refuse to call them bandits because what they do is beyond rustling cows and just stealing people's properties. They are literally killing and burning down houses. So they are terrorists. So do you think that advice is the right course?
The thing is that a crime is a crime, and the punishment for having a crime is just arrest them and prosecute them. That's the thing. Now negotiating with terrorists, because Buhari actually said they were terrorists actually, and it is a no. It doesn't work because now this the former governor of Zamfara State, I think that was before, it was the previous, not before this, I think 2 years or 2 terms ago. They've done this thing before, negotiating with the bandits in Zamfara State. When the former governor, was it Matawale?
Yes.
Matawale came in, the first 3 months came in, he was like, yes, he had a meeting with the bandits. Even he was criticized then, he had a meeting with the bandits and they negotiated. And in every bandit group, there's what we call a spoiler group.
Okay.
Now, just some spoiler, you say, no, I don't want to, I'm not against this. After everything, he was celebrating it that yes, 3 months, after 3 months, the bandits have stopped. 6 months after, they came back with full force.
Well, we have John Akirili joining us virtually. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you for having me.
All right, welcome. John, so now we're talking about the president's meeting with service chiefs and the order that he's given to them to get to work, and also Ribadu saying yes, they will not disappoint Nigerians, and that's the NSA. And but we also talking about a proposal to the president by a former governor of Zamfara State, Sani Yerima, to negotiate with bandits in Zamfara State and Katsina as well. Now, these are the two, these are the things we're talking about this morning. First of all, when the president met with service chiefs, orders were given, and we were also told that crime rate has reduced already. Well, I don't know if you see things from their own perspective. What do you think?
Oh man, at times when I hear headlines from Nigeria, I just laugh, because to me it sounds like a comedy. But let's look at these issues in 3 different angles. The first angle is the angle of the president. Okay, so for the president appointing his security team, I think it's a good one. Nuri Badu, a man with good portfolio. But more importantly, I think Nigerians will hold the president accountable, because the president promised Nigerians renewed hope. And renewed hope should be felt in all areas of our lives as Nigerians. Be it in the economy, it should be renewed hope. Be it in security, it should be renewed hope. So in that regard of hope, that's why he's having that meeting with the security chiefs. And I think the security chiefs also knows that the mantra of the Mr. President is renewed hope. And they also come in to do that which is needful to make sure Nigeria is stable once again. On the other hand, of the issue of negotiating with bandits, I'm sorry to say, my words, these are my own opinions, and I think I'm free to express myself. Not the opinion of VOP, okay? Now this is it. Anybody who is bringing an advice of you negotiating with a bandit is actually a sponsorer, a financier, or a kingpin of the bandits. Mark my words, and I can say it again and again. Because you cannot tell me that you are a bandit. On what basis are you a bandit? On what basis are you holding the state to a ransom? That you should come to a negotiating table to negotiate what? That farmers cannot no longer go to the farm, and the farmers a problem to the bandits because I don't really understand the foundation of why some people will come together and form a group, they are armed, and then they invade attacks on helpless and poor people, poor farmers in the rural areas. There's Abuja there. And I say it with all manner of modesty. If you feel aggrieved in any part of the country, please hold your sectional leaders accountable. If you are aggrieved in any state, hold your governor accountable. If you are aggrieved in any locality, hold the local government chairman accountable. If you are aggrieved in any village,
All right.
hold your obas and your chiefs and your bailiffs accountable.
All right, John, let's...
Until we get to that point, negotiation with bandits for me is a no-no. Because if you do that, what will happen to you? What will happen to us as a country is that you are encouraging banditry by saying that anytime any smaller groups comes up, because let me not lie to you, these groups will continue to break. The more they break, the more they have subsets. The more they have subsets, the more they evolve and metamorphose into different groups. And each of them will now be holding the government to ransom because they know that sooner or later, the government will call them to the round table to negotiate. And when they are negotiating, they will be the one to bring the terms and conditions, not the government. They do not want peace. They want war. They want violence. The government want peace. So the government want to, try to pat them at the back and,
All right, so let's break this down a little bit.
Let me lie to you. Wait, let me land on this point. Let me lie to you. When you negotiate with a terrorist, what you are doing is that you will pay more and you will continue to bleed until you die. A terrorist never forgives, they don't forget. So when they get the money from you, the next time they will come to bid from you again, they will increase their stake until you are suffocated and you cannot, withstand it again. And then the whole state crumbles. And I think Nigerians, and even Mr. President, should not hold that line because 200 million people are at stake on this issue.
All right, then. John has been very
passionate and
yes, about his stance there. Let's even look at the definition of bandits. All right, let's get the dictionary definition of it. All right, it's been defined by this particular dictionary: an outlaw who lives by plunder, especially a member of a band of marauders, robber, an enemy plane. These are an outlaw who lives by plunder. That's the dictionary definition. Now, when former governor and former Senate man Yerima made the suggestion to the president, he did say that was how former President Musa Yar'Adua negotiated with Niger Delta militants. Now we know that Niger Delta militants, their battle was for the emancipation of the Niger Delta. They had MEND. The negotiation was with MEND, Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta. And their fight was bordered on development
of justice
or the lack of it in the Niger Delta. And they wanted government to focus on developing the Niger Delta because these are oil producing states, giving Nigeria, its oil. And some of the arguments were these people are the ones suffering, when oil, when the companies come to take oil, they leave the place terrible and all of that. So the quality of life depletes, oil affects their water, so they were asking for development. What are the bandits asking for, really?
That's the question. That's the question I've been asking myself since yesterday. If you want to have a roundtable discussion, you have a roundtable discussion with someone, with a group that has an idea. Now, Niger Delta militant had an idea. They were fighting for a cause. Now, what are these bandits fighting for? Not really nothing. The cattle, the farmers are not going to the farm. The cattle, those are not something tangible. And why are they fighting for this thing? Because they need money. Why are they doing this banditry? Everything they need. They said in one of the interviews said there is no job they will do that will give them the money they are earning now. Because when they kidnap, they get more money.
They buy weapons.
They buy weapons. They buy weapons from this money you give them. Now they drop their weapons after let's say okay, assuming there's a negotiation, they've dropped their weapons. Do you know that we have over 100 groups of bandits in the northwest.
So who will we be negotiating?
Who and
with in
who
the
will we be
first place?
negotiating with in the first place? If we negotiate with these groups, another group will be there. Guys. Oh, so you guys negotiate with this group. We will do more so that you guys can come back and negotiate. So the more you are negotiating with criminals,
Anyway.
it's giving room for more crime to happen.
The governor did say, John, the governor did say that they are repentant bandits. John, I'm coming to you now. Let's look at the word of the governor. He said repentant bandits. Are they repentant? Can they repent? Have they repented? You know, and he alluded to the fact that even in the Bible, even in religious books, when criminals repent, they are forgiven. So if the good Lord can forgive, why then not us in Nigeria? John, go ahead. Did you hear the question? Did you hear the question, John?
Always like, yes, I did. I
All
did.
right, go ahead,
I did.
go ahead.
I will always like us to be realistic, okay? And it's such a joke that our leaders ask us to sacrifice, and they are not doing any sacrifice, and it's so painful. And I want the person, the governor who made this remark and is quoting the Bible now. It's only when it favors them they quote the Bible. They will not quote where they say that the person that embezzle money should be stoned to death. They won't quote that part because that part is talking to them. Now this is it. How can you speak to somebody who bandits kill the father or kill the wife on the family? Or how do you speak to a child who writes in his own presence his parents were murdered by bandits? Will you not tell such a child that such a person now is repented at the detriment of the loss of his own father and mother? Yeah, no. Please.
All right.
Let's
John,
start as a country where people answer, you know, and respond. They live to the consequence of all of their actions. Either is it good or bad, so that you will understand that for every action you take, there are consequences. And when the consequences comes, the rest assured that you're going to face it squarely. Let's not be religious about this issue. The more you study this, look at it. Let's go back a bit. Let's go back. Where were we before? Nigeria as a country. How did we get here? Have we had a position of banditry before in Nigeria? How come it's now so, you know, it's such a popular thing now that makes headline every blessed day? It's because there are some big guys who are behind these things and they are making money from it. Have you asked yourself a question? How do they get food? How do they get supplies or stationaries? How do they even make deliveries? Back then they can't. How do they get sophisticated weapons? The problem that Nigerian police don't have. These are questions that must be answered. So these are areas that Nigerian security officers should look at into. Never you negotiate with a bandit. A bandit will never repent. It's a bandit. It's an ideological thing. It's an ideology. Okay? For you have to do a lot of de-radicalization. And that happened to them, I don't think so. So the best bet is let them rain fire.
John, I want to ask you a follow-up question to your response. If you recall BBC's African Eye last year, when they actually did a deep research and they were able to speak with these supposed bandits / terrorists. I'll call them terrorists because they have blood in their hands. And a lot of them actually alluded to what you just said, that there are persons or principalities in government who actually benefit from this business. Now, beyond that, do you think that there is there's a push for ethnic control? Because if you look at the pattern of these bandits, they're not only, you know, rustle cows and pillage, they murder, they burn down houses, they burn farmlands. The idea is to displace persons from their community and eventually settle there. And they're beginning to do that gradually and taking over several communities in some certain regions in the country. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is basically what we are seeing in the news. This is what we can actually see. And most of these residents who reside in these areas are actually buttressing that this is the agenda of these individuals. So my question to you is, do we think that this is an ethnic situation where a particular ethnic group intends to take over with the mantra of the country belongs to us?
think if we want to toe that line, I would not advise us let us toe that line. So what I think we should do is this. Let's not look at ethnicity in this regard as the base of this abnormality. I'll call it abnormality. Now, that will also come to tell you that even in the government, they are saboteurs. How do you explain somebody taking a ransom of 50 million naira, 200 million, and they have made banditry so lucrative? The political class are not exempted from this. I'm made bold to say it. They are not exempted from this. And that's why they can have sympathizers. Imagine the president-elect that is our president now has not even stayed in the office up to like 3 months. Sympathizers are already begging. You should go and negotiate. Imagine, can you just say yourself, not even up to 3 months in office, and the first thing you say to the president is go and negotiate with people that you don't even know the reason for their actions. And let me not lie to you, I'm saying it again. Anybody who sympathizes with these bandits has a hand in it. Mark my words for it. They have a hand in it. If not, you will not. And I think maybe you should try and get somebody who is directly impacted about banditry in Nigeria. And you can feel the pain and agony. You can see why I'm speaking to you on this program. It's because directly I have been impacted from this same crisis, personally. And that's why when I hear government officials say some things, it makes me extremely emotional. And I'm like, no, these are people, you're talking about people's livelihood. Lives and properties have gone the way. Millions of things have gone down the drain. And here you are saying negotiation with one who? No, it's not about the ethnicity. Let's even take that card out. The point is a criminal is a criminal. Either he's black or he's white, he is Hispanic or he's Caucasian. Any color, whatever it is. But the fact that he's a criminal is a criminal. And there are good people everywhere, there are bad people everywhere. Right. So I will not say because these are the northern part. No, let's not go into that profiling. The point is, bandits is anti-state, they are unlawful, they are criminals, and they should be dealt with. And if this president is really sincere, just like he has promised us renewed hope, now we want to feed the renewed hope in our security architecture. Thank God they have new officers now. But the point is, negotiating with bandits will make Nigeria an ungovernable state. Mark my words. And I hope my president is listening to me. And I know that I won't go that line. He will never negotiate with them. Rather, they should get more weapons. In fact, those forests should be used as farmlands. Anybody, level everywhere.
Let's get some more perspective to this. Because let's get some more perspective to this. Banditry. Where is Boko Haram?
Boko Haram.
Where
are they?
The band is not an evolution or a modification of.
Are they? I'm just saying.
Let me just tell you something. When we like bandit in Nigeria, they just find name for some group of criminals.
So you think it was a name change?
It was just like a name change. Look, just like in the north and the east, they were saying unknown gunmen, unknown gunmen. Who are the unknown gunmen?
Okay, now this is where I was going to actually. The former governor who is proposing this, you remember when he was governor, he introduced the Sharia law.
Yeah.
In the state, he introduced it. And record has it that a few people that stole had their hands, their wrists cut off. One stole a bicycle, was it a bicycle or a motorcycle, and they chopped off his hand. Was it after he repented or before he repented that they chopped off his hand? I'm trying to understand. And now you're asking a country to forgive those who have stolen lives, those who have stolen destinies, those who have plundered, destroyed families, killed fathers and mothers and left children in IDP camps, those who have attacked IDP camps, who have destroyed those who are downtrodden, trampled on them, and now we'll come out and say, okay, we are repentant. Forgive us. We are dropping our guns, but we need you to pay us. and then Nigeria will negotiate. In the international community, there is I thought there's a slogan that some countries don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay, is it because banditry has not been proscribed? Is that why we are not calling them terrorists? Could that be the reason? Okay, now, we also know, I just hope the president has not mandated Yerima to go ahead and negotiate, because he came out of that meeting saying that the president has given him a mandate to settle the dispute between the former governor of Zamfara, Matawale, and the current one, because they're having, a rift between them. That the president has given him the mandate to make peace between the two of them. Are we sure he hasn't been given a mandate to also negotiate? These are thoughts in my head, though.
No,
just putting them out there.
I would not want to believe that the president has given him the mandate to do that, because what is the essence of you getting service chiefs? What the essence of them is for them to fight security. If you are getting new service chief, a new head of every police force, army, go and bring. How do we overcome banditry in this country? This banditry has affected the livelihood of most northerners. Education has been in most places they don't go to school. They don't go to school again because they've affected their education, affected their livelihood. Some of them have lost their mother, have lost their father, they've lost their children. So I could see how Mr. John was so aggrieved about this, because he said he has felt it almost personally. So nobody who have felt this thing personally will come and sit down and say, let us form a round table talk. No. So where are they now? They said, where are these people getting fuel? Where are they getting guns? These guns they are carrying, they are sophisticated guns. Even the Nigerian police don't have these guns. I just feel that this round table discussion is like, okay, probably they are broke, they don't have money again. Okay, let us get more money. And it is, a thief will continue to be a thief.
Okay.
So the question now should be, I think I'll ask John this question. John, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, okay, good. John, what do you think should be done? Like when we started off this conversation, we started off with the president meeting with his service chiefs. The idea is for an agenda to be set out so that, the consistent killings of these supposed bandits will stop, or rather we'll see a curb in their activities. So what should be done? We've had the same conversation with the former president, Buhari. We've had the same conversation too with the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is right there at the moment, and there is a lot he needs to deal with. Do you think that, like Yerima tried to advise, that is the right call, which is negotiating with them so we can see a curb? And if negotiation is off the table, what drastic measures should be employed?
I think I'll start on this note of accountability. Okay. Now, if everybody, let's really feel that we have a new president in town. If we give an order to you, and I say this is a standing order as Mr. President, if in 2 months I'm not seeing anything evident, in 2 months I'm changing you. And let's have such approach that you're not just an NSA just to occupy, you're not just a chief of army staff just to sit down. No. In 2 months, people should say, okay, this is what we're going to do in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks. And once you start doing all those things, let people start seeing that yes, they are responses, they are results. Okay? Now we have a lot of vast land that is even not secured. And yet our politicians, some of them have 10 policemen attached to them. So I think we start from there. Our policing, our method of policing, our system of policing needs to be changed. Can we decentralize policing even to the little of the little, as far as the local government is concerned? Can we increase the number of police force that we have in Nigeria? All across. Imagine Now that we are saying, I think as at yesterday or today, that the generals should resign. We are resigning about over 100 generals in Nigerian army. Are we replacing these generals? We are not. So that is where we have deficiency. Instead of us to even increase the manpower, we are even decreasing it. So I think one thing we should do is massive recruitment. Massive, when I say massive, massive recruitment of agile and able-bodied men who want to be in the force, who want to be. It's not just for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to come into the force, either police, navy, army, air force, or soldier. No. Let people who have the mind, who want to serve the nation genuinely, come in to recruit them all across the country. Once you have increased capacity, then two is that accountability, like I said to you. If there is a particular money earmarked for any project, let's have transparency and accountability. If that is done, I can assure you, once there's no shady deal from the top to the bottom, everybody knows that this is something new. This is something, even if there's no accountability, let me not lie to you. If there's no accountability, bring in $200 billion into Nigeria's security. Nigeria's security system will engulf that money and you will not see anything evident. Because there's no accountability. There's no transparency. So the first thing that we must do is transparency and accountability. How much are we expending? This is the amount we are spending in security. These are the equipment we are buying. This is where the equipment are. Don't just buy trucks and park them at police headquarters for TV stations to come and take pictures and newspapers come and take pictures, and after taking pictures, they are there. No. If you go to Abuja now, as I speak to you now, there are some equipment you see on lying fallow there, you just do nothing. So I think this is the battle of security should be taken to the field.
All right, John. Let's have your closing thoughts now as we make to wrap up this segment of the show. Let's have yours, John.
Where these guys are, take the battle to them.
Okay,
you cannot tell me that we have our Air Force.
There's a glitch in the network.
My call and my plea will be to our security officers. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, my plea will be to our security officers, both those at the top and those at the bottom, and those on the street, and that they should understand that Nigeria is for all of us, and that we, over 200 million Nigerians, are begging them, and we are looking up to them, that they will secure every length and breadth of this country, and that Nigeria can be great again. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Olawale Olatubi, let's have your closing thoughts.
The closing thought actually is I just have to beg the president, or to plead with the president and the service chief, like Mr. Jonas said, just secure the Nigerians. Let us have the effect of we having a president and having the military. That's just, let them do their job. Let's just have the effect. Let us know that, okay, fine, I can sleep with my two eyes closed. I cannot. So let's just have the effect. And when this effect is coming up, is there something we can feel? It's not something. It's not like something we'll feel. So let us have the effect.
You don't think negotiating with them will give you that effect?
See, I've said it out and I will keep saying it. Negotiating with bandits is a no-no, capital no-no. Because N-O-N-O. See, anybody that says it, I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that, but it's a no-no. And I'm sure the president knows that it's a no-no.
All right then. Thank you very much, gentlemen. But I think we'll keep John for a little bit longer. I think we'll keep...
Yes. And Dr. Olawale too.
Okay, so we'll keep you guys for a little bit longer.
Yes,
as we get going to another part of the show. But anyway, should we give our own thoughts on this?
Do you want to give your own thought?
As a Nigerian, I think I have a stake in this.
Proceed, Your Excellency.
I will stay with the gentleman on the show, and also the position of some Nigerians. We saw what happened at the Niger Delta when there was a negotiation with men. Mm-hmm. We had the Niger Delta Avengers come up to say they were not part of that negotiation. And ultimately, at the end of the day, can we say we've seen development in the Niger Delta, which was what they were clamoring for? I don't think so. I think it's been from one militant being enriched to another, getting money into his coffers. That's what we have had. Now, is that what we want to see going forward? Let's set that aside. Who are the people to negotiate with? Do we have names? Do we know them? Are they people? Are they people that we can identify? With MEND, we had people to identify. We had Mtompolo, we had Asari, the Kubo. We had a few people. I've forgotten the other guy's, the other person's name now. We had a few people that we could identify to say, okay, these are the leaders of these groups. But with bandits, do we know them? Are there people that know them? If these people, if the ex-governor knows them, knows who they are, then he should tell Nigerians who they are.
I think that they know who these individuals are.
They know.
They have confessed.
Nigerians should know.
They have confessed. If you watch the BBC's African Eye documentary last year, they have said that the government knows them. The top officials knows them. They know them. My own personal opinion is of the note that these individuals are in cahoots with these supposed politicians. It's a continuous business, especially for armory, gun, and all those. But these things are things they do with most of these Mexican countries, these German countries too. They make arms like this. In order for that trade to continue, they need to consistently create a scene of war in most African countries. Some persons may think this is a conspiracy theory, but that is the reality. So if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants his administration to be enjoyed by all and sundry, I feel that he should put his feet on the ground, tell his security advisors to bring out those guys. No more hiding these guys. No more pretending like they do not know or giving them names. They should do the needful.
All right, then, having said that, let's get on to another topic for the day. Blames are up for trade between residents of Trademore Estate in Abuja and the FCT's Housing Development Agency. This conversation comes up next. How do I